Good evening to one and all. I welcome you all for today's lecture. Mr. Ravishankar Shiroor has more than 17 years of experience in the telecommunication industry with more than 20 years of experience in the IT industry. He has been an entrepreneur focused on developing and deploying M2M, smart systems and Internet of Things based end-to-end solutions specific to industry segments in specific emerging economies like India. His company, Stellapps Technologies, incubated by RTBI IIT Madras, is making significant inroads into applying these technologies into dairy and agri sectors. Apart from being an entrepreneur, for the last 3 years, he has wide range of experience in telecommunication industry, varying from working with equipment vendors, telecom service providers, and software services vendors. He has worked with telcos and TEMs in various geographies such as North America, Europe, Asia Pacific, and Australia. He has spoken at a number of industry conferences, including IEEE International Conference on IMS, Informa IMS 2.0 event, and National Seminar on Advanced Communication Technologies. He has also published many industry thought leadership papers and articles on the evolving telecom network and service layers. He is also the author of several IETF drafts. Mr. Shiroor holds Bachelor of Engineering degree from University of Mysore and Master's degree in Telecommunication from IIT Madras. May I now request Mr. Shiroor to address the dais.
Thank you very much. Really very glad to be here. Very happy to be back in IIT Madras, talking to you guys. I passed out in '96. I used to be with the Brahms. I used to stay in the Brahmaputra hostel. 96 Jan is when I left, and after that, quite a while I was I had not come back to the campus almost till about 2010. I had not come back to campus. 2010 is when I came back, and there are a lot of changes. I'm sure you get it a lot from all the speakers who come back and say a lot has changed and stuff like that, but it's true. I mean, at that time itself I used to think, wow, there's a great campus and so many facilities and things like that, but now if I see, I'm I'm almost jealous of all of you. I want to be back in the campus again and study again. It's that good. Today afternoon one of you took me around. I saw the CFI, various other facilities. I was really glad to see the amount of work going on, the students working on actual products, trying around things. So, I'm really happy to see the progress that is being made. So with that, let me get started on the topic I wanted to speak to you guys today evening. As he mentioned, I used to work in the telecommunication domain most of my career. Work with various stakeholders in the telecommunication industry, and about 4 years back we thought we should apply the same technology into different verticals. How can we apply technology into various other verticals where it could be of use? How can we see the same technology being used in different ways? So with that thought, we started off about 4 years back, and based on my experience in the last 4 years, what I have seen, how technology can be applied into completely different segments altogether that one might not have normally thought through. That's what I'm going to talk about today. Especially agri and dairy sectors. How you can apply technology, thinking like an entrepreneur. You can think like various people, right? You can think like a farmer. You can think like a cooperative. You can, governments think in a different way. Regulatory authorities think in a different way. As an entrepreneur, how you can look at it, what are the opportunities out there, is what I want to speak to you all about today evening. Feel free to stop me and ask any questions in between. Let's have it interactive. If you want to stop me at any point of time, just raise your hand and I'll be glad to answer. We started Stellapps Technologies about 3.5 to 4 years back. Focusing on, as you can see, next generation dairying was what our focus was. 5 of us together started it. We have been working together for almost 18 years in Wipro. Almost all of us in the telecommunication domain. 2 of us, myself and Praveen from IIT Madras, Venkat from Bangalore University, Ranjit from Chicago, Illinois Institute of Technology, Ramakrishna Adukuri from IIT Kanpur. We started off. We wanted to see how to apply technology. We started off thinking various domains. We wanted to see if we can get into healthcare, education, various aspects we are looking at. One of the vertical was also agri and food processing industry. We wanted to see what we could do there. At the same time, there was a customer who approached us saying he has a small farm where he needs to monitor if the farm is being run as per the protocol he has defined. Are the cows being taken care properly? Is milking happening properly? Is the milk being stored in the right way? Is the cleaning happening properly? Various other things he wanted to see. And we said, why not? I mean, we can as well try this. There is a paying customer who is asking for it. We can try it out, and that's how we started. So he wanted to basically saying, I want to produce organic milk and supply to Bangalore and other places. I want the dairying to be next generation. I want a 25 cow farm to be set up in a scientific way. Can you help us? And we said we can start off, and then we started digging up on what is dairying, what is next generation dairying, because dairying is something that comes by default in almost many of the Indian households, right? Everybody has some 2-3 cows, at least they used to have in the rural segment, or some well-off families had 10 cows, 15 cows, whatever. So they used to manage cows. Milk was coming in, and whatever was the excess milk that used to probably get sold or whatever. But what is next generation dairying? When we started looking into it, we started digged up. I will give you some numbers. In India, average herd size, if you take, is 3. 3 is the average herd size of cows. Whereas in the Western countries, in Israel, New Zealand, etc., average herd size is 1,600. That's the average herd size of cows, right? Yield of the cows, if you take on a yearly basis, the average yield in India is 1,600 liters per cow per year. Whereas in Western countries and other places, forget Western countries, all over the world, on an average, it is 12,600 liters. We are like, that scale different in terms of productivity. Of course, a lot of it is to do with the breed of the animal, okay, but I think 50% of it is to do with the management of the overall dairy farming. So when I say management, all these things, right? Scientifically designed farm. Okay, if you have a given land, how do you design where the cow shed should come, where the dung should be put, where the milking should happen, where do you store the feed and fodder, where do you store the water, various aspects of it. Efficient feed and fodder production. If you look at it, if you run a dairy farm efficiently, about 40 to 50% of the cost will be or of the running cost will be on the feed and fodder part of it, right? If you don't run it efficiently, more than the cost of the milk will be the cost of the feed and fodder, right? Then labor optimization and automation. Labor is a big problem in India. I mean, 3-4 cows you can with hand you can milk, but with 25 cows, with 50 cows, 100 cows, is it possible to milk with hand? It's not going to be possible. Health and fertility management, clean milk production protocol. When the milk is it's milked, right? I mean, human hand is the first source of contamination. Starting from that, there are a lot of other sources which can contaminate milk. how to produce milk on a cleanly without human hand touching the milk, and various other places. Cold chain management. Milk needs to be stored at cold 4 degrees centigrade. Otherwise, the milk will get spoiled within about 6 hours maximum. So within 6 hours, if you store it at 4 degrees centigrade, it can last for weeks together. Otherwise, it will not be possible to store it. How do you ensure cold chain management? Efficient monitoring of the milk collection mechanisms. So farmers nowadays, when they collect milk, the next step that happens is they go and pour it at the village society. At the society, what are the mechanisms followed to collect the milk, store the milk? Ecosystem, market linkage, banking, insurance. How a farmer can get financing for starting a project, or insurance for the animals. It's very difficult to get insurance for the animals, right? Mainly because 3-4 cows, there is no way insurance guys can guarantee that a certain which cow has been insured. That's the one on which the claim is being made, and various other aspects. And integrated interface for all the government policies and subsidies. Government is focusing a lot on dairy industry. India is the biggest milk producer in the world. Okay, right now we are exporting a small amount, but the projection is that by 2025, at this rate we will be the net importer of milk. So there is a huge push to get dairy industry big boost in order to prevent that event. So government, there is a body called NDDB, National Dairy Development Board, which has 8,000 crore rupee plan called as National Dairy Plan, which is trying to boost this sector. All these and that needs a right interface to collect the data. I mean, there's no data. It's not very easy to collect the data. What is the average productivity of an animal in a given area? What's the cost? Various other aspects. There is no easy way to collect the data. So integrated interface is also required to take the right policy decisions. So when we started off, this was our solution overview. So what I have talked about, there is not much, let's say, telecom technology. How could it be applied? I want to talk a little bit about when we started off. What were we envisaging? Right? What we said was our solution is a clean milk production enablement. It's not about producing clean milk itself. Efficient, cost-effective herd management. We use technologies like M2M, cloud analytics, mobility. Are you all familiar with these terms? M2M, machine-to-machine communications. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about it, right? The normal internet of today is about internet of people, right? I send an email to you, or I post something on Facebook, or somebody sends me a WhatsApp message, and so on and so forth. At most, machines may sit inside. They may pass the packets around. They may respond based on a workflow that has been set for them, and so on and so forth. But machines don't generate data, or they take decisions and control other machines. Those are not happening. So machine to machine, or M2M, or Internet of Things, people call it. So those are the buzzwords in the telecom industry, right? I mean, enough SIM cards have been sold to human beings. They can't sell any more SIM cards to human beings. Everybody has almost 2 or 3 SIM cards. So the idea is to sell SIM cards to machines. So that is the focus of machine-to-machine communications. Every object, let's say this TV here, or that fan there, or that camera, everything should have a SIM card. It should be able to communicate its status. Somebody else should be able to take a decision and control the things. So that is what is machine-to-machine communication about. Cloud, I'm sure all of you know. Data analytics, I think you have heard enough. Yes? Yeah. Mobility, of course, all of you know. So our thought was to include these things, especially when the customer came and said, I want to do remote monitoring. We said, okay, we'll place various sensors at different places. We use the M2M technology to transfer the data to the cloud, and from there we'll tell you, what is going on at the farm. So that was the focus of the solution, right? So there was a M2M gateway in place. There is a vehicle control unit, cloud app, which is called as HMS, herd management system, data hub, sensor controls, various things like milk meter, activity meter, bulk milk cooler, solution automation. Okay, so this was the focus, right? If I were to run a farm, right, what would I ask for? I want to know when the milking had happened. If I am the owner, but the farm is elsewhere, it's under somebody else's control, somebody else. What would I like to know? I would like to know these factors only, right? Did he properly milk at the right time? Did he give the food at the right time? Has he stolen any milk? Or is the milk stored at at the right temperature? Has he cleaned the systems at the right time? So basically, these are the things you can put sensors at various places, collect the data, send to some other software up there, and give the information back to the owner in the way he would like to know. So that was the focus. So basically, this is a typical M2M architecture. There is a mobile network and internet. Data comes from sensors put on various aspects. It could be vehicles, it could be equipments, it could be this one, the cow itself, which is giving some data. All the data through the internet comes to the cloud, and there is a application which gives the APIs to even third parties to write their own applications. So that was the basic architecture of the solution. Do I need to spend more time on this? Am I clear on this? And also disseminate the information to various stakeholders, right? I mean, there could be a farm manager, there could be a supervisor, there could be bank which has given loan to that farm, there could be the insurance agent who has given insurance to that farm. He would like to know if his cows are doing okay. Then when the next year premium insurance renewal comes, should he increase the premium? Are the banks to be worried? Various, I mean, even the milk collectors, right? What does the farmer do? He goes and gives the milk to Hatson or Avin or somebody like that. They are also worried. I mean, they need to ensure that their collection logistics infrastructure needs to get milk on a regular basis. Today 1000 liters, tomorrow 0. It is not a reliable logistical management, right? So they need to ensure that there is a loyalty from the farmer, that he pours milk to that society on a regular basis. So they also are a big stakeholder, and as I mentioned, NDDB or various other people also are stakeholders. So disseminate the information into various stakeholders. So this was the solution that we started with. Today, it's after 3-4 years on the field, we understand that just selling technology to farmer will not help. We can't tell the farmer that here is the technology, you figure out rest of it, because he doesn't know how to use technology. He doesn't even know the other factors, right? What I talked about, scientific farm management or feed and fodder, various other factors I talked about in the next generation dairying. Even if he doesn't understand those, there's no point in putting more and more technology if the basic, the principle itself is not strong. So today we provide end-to-end services. Of course, this is the technology focus. We provide these things. We provide dairy farm machinery, milking equipments, milk chilling equipments, cleaning equipments. We provide complete end-to-end setup consultancy. If any customer, anywhere, right? I mean, it could be Hyderabad, it could be where it is very hot, it could be Ooty where it's very cold. Wherever customer can come and say, I want to set up a farm. This is my constraints. This is the market I'm trying to address. I want Gir cows. I want HF cows. I believe in Desi cows. I believe I have a certain market where I can sell Desi cow milk at 50 rupees per liter. Can you help in setting it up? Various factors they come up with, right? So for that, we can provide end-to-end dairy setup consultancy, starting from selecting the land, what kind of cows to buy, where to purchase from, on what basis you purchase, how to manage their health, how to manage feed and fodder for that given area where there is water, abundant water, or where there is no water, and various other things. Purchasing the cows, we help customer purchasing the cows, feed and fodder planning. And another most important thing that we understand is the business model part of it, Opex based and low capex, right? I mean, as a farmer who's starting off, they might not have that much money to invest into it. So maybe a 1,000 cow farmer has enough money to invest, right? If you there's a common joke, right? If you ask for 10,000 rupee loan, it's very difficult to get, but if you have 10 crores, it is slightly more easier to get a loan for 10 crores, right? As a small farmer, it is very difficult for them to get the capital to invest on. So the business model has to be low on capex but high on opex. You charge him as he produces, right? It's the day cow comes in, he starts producing the milk. So so the way we have done is, if I want to sell him let's say a bucket milker, and a bucket milker I want to price at 45,000 rupees, whereas my cost is let's say 22,000 rupees, I will sell him at 21,000 rupees and tell him, for every liter of milk you produce in this, give me 35 paisa. Right? Milk industry works on paisas, okay? I mean, everything is in paisas. The company says my margin is 7 paisa per liter, chilling cost is 2 paisa per liter, and so on and so forth. So we say give me 35 paisa per liter as long as you are producing. So that way, we not only there are 2-3 things. One, customer doesn't feel that much pinch of capex. Secondly, he knows that I am interested in him succeeding. Right? If he keeps producing, I keep getting money. If he stops producing, I lose as well. And I am incentivized to make him produce more. So there are different ways in which we make the solution more affordable and working with the farmer on a continuous basis. So in this model, customer never asked me about warranty, guarantee and stuff like that, because if the equipment is not working, I also stop getting my revenue. Right, otherwise all those things are will be a big and finally execution. You need domain people. How much can an engineer do with with cows, right? I mean, you need to hire veterinary doctors, you need to hire nutritionists, you have to have right advisors and all that. So all those have been put in place as well today. So it's basically an end-to-end service. That's what we figured out, that you have to provide an end-to-end service and you charge for it. Customers are okay to pay for it. I have not put the numbers in this how much how big is the business and all that, right? But just I'll give you a few numbers. Karnataka alone produces 80 lakh liters of milk per day, right? So all over India, how much is the amount of milk produced per day? You can imagine, and there is almost zero technology intervention available for all these milk producers all over India. So that is the big market available out there. Some of the pictures, right? So small milking parlor with a small milk chiller, biogas system. You have so much. With 25 cows, let's say you produce almost 1 ton of dung every day. With 1 ton of dung, you can produce 50 kilowatts of power on a daily basis. You can run your entire farm and you can sell the power back to the grid as well. That much power is left. Scientifically designed shed. Milking parlors, prefabricated structures we supply, so that the dependency of civil deployment at the site is minimized. The wireless gateway that we have developed, which monitors various parameters, various monitoring system at the collection systems, and of course the technology part of it, the analytics, the report that go back to the customer, and so on and so forth. Different models. This is called community milking, which means this is not owned by one particular farmer. There is a milking infrastructure in the middle of the village where farmers get their cows and the milking is done and they take it back. So the farmers don't have to invest anything. So this model is advantageous. One, farmer doesn't have to invest anything. Two, that milking parlor whoever owns it, let's say KMF owns it or Amul owns it, they are guaranteed that every day those farmers come there itself, right? Cows don't want to change their milking spot on a daily basis. So if a farmer comes here, he is guaranteed that on a daily basis the farmer comes there. Thirdly, there is a guarantee that farmer doesn't mix water or anything like that, because the cow itself they are coming there to give the milk. So there are a lot of advantages. Bulk milk coolers, various equipments that we put in place. So just typically 2-3 models. There are much more, many more models. Individual farmer model I talked about already, right? One farmer with, let's say, 5 cows or 25 cows or 100 cow or 1000 cow, whatever unit he has, it's his farm. He runs it scientifically, and he runs it as a business and takes it. All the equipments required there, all the support required there are a different model altogether. In this itself, as I said, multiple layers are there. Then community milking parlor I already talked about, and the cluster model. Cluster model is many people have tried out the cluster model. Hatson, have you guys heard about Hatson? Arogya milk, right? Hatson tried a project called as White Gold. What they wanted to do was they wanted to encourage dairy farmers to set up scientific farms like this. They wanted a cluster where small farmers of different sizes are there, and they provide all the services required. They provide the technology required. They will ensure that the milk is picked up from the spot. That entire cluster is managed by them. Then there is a central farm as well. Different models are there. This is the community milking parlor I talked about. This is the distributed and cluster model. There is a lot of interest in the cluster model. ITC is showing a lot of interest. Reliance is getting into dairy. You name it. Corporates are getting into dairy, and they like this model because of the guaranteed supply of milk it gives and the quality of the milk that it gives. Integrated farms. One farmer owning the farm. I talked about this also. Just to give you a feel of it, right? With 25 cows, a farmer can generate about 1.5 lakh rupee of revenue per month. Okay, that's the size we are talking about. If you have just back of the envelope calculation, if you can give you with 25 cows, so let's say at any time 18 cows are giving milk. Okay, on an average 15 liters per day per cow. So that is 18 into 15. How much is it? About 220 liters or something like that, right? 220, 230 liters per day. In Tamil Nadu, how much? Farmer gets about 24 rupees or 25 rupees. I think recently 10 more rupees hike was given. Forgetting the hike also, he is getting about 24 rupees per liter. So 24 rupees per liter into 200 liters, he is getting close to 5,000 rupees per day. Yeah. So per month it is a big number. At least on paper it is a big number. If it is 100 cows, it is, you can calculate. So it's a fairly profitable business. Only you need to manage it as any other business that you do. Keep the costs under control. Increase the yield and various other things, and it's a very good business. Yes. So that's why. Sorry. Losses also will be there. Losses also will be there. So there are expenses and there are losses. Okay, so at the moment, any amount of milk that you make, there is no problem in selling. Okay, it might be difficult for a farmer to demand 40 rupees because in the market you buy at 40 rupees, whereas the farmer gets 24. Farmer may not be able to demand 40 rupees, but 24 he can definitely get. So, so if he has that small chilling system at the farm, as I mentioned, right, the milk can be there for weeks together in it, not a problem, right? It's basically a fridge. Right. Only thing, it is much more efficiently designed for milk. There is a small churning system. There is good insulation. It loses only 1 degree centigrade in 24 hours, and so on and so forth. It's been designed for milk, bulk milk cooler. Okay. People have been using it for a long time. We deployed the smallest one, at the farm level. It's been from almost 10-15 years. It's been used at the collection centers. Any collection center you go at the village side, Hatson Collection Center, Avin or KMF or Amul or any of these guys, you will see a bulk milk cooler. All milk is stored in that, and then once in a day only tanker comes and collects the milk and goes. But otherwise, at the farmer's level, that is not there. So that's what we are introducing at the farmer's level. You produce the milk and you chill it and keep it. If there is no demand, let's say there is a flush season where some private dairies may say, I don't want to lift milk today, or today I half the price or whatever. Farmer can say, okay, I'll keep the milk. There's no problem. He can keep it for weeks together. Right. So there are techniques available where you can store the milk. It is perishable, yes, but Herd management software, it, as I mentioned, it gets data from various parts in the farm. It gets data from the milking system, which tells how much milk each cow yielded on a daily, not daily basis, morning how much, evening how much, what is the temperature of the milk as it left the cow's body, what is the somatic cell count in the milk, which is basically conductivity of the milk, which indicates onset of any infection of the coming to the animals, or animal coming to heat, or animal getting some fever, and so on and so forth. And there is a small activity meter that is put on the cow's knee, which tells how is the average movement happening. If the movement is too much, it's hyperactive for some reason. What are the indications? Hyperactiveness in combination with the high temperature might mean something. So these information goes to the veterinarian directly. So all the data comes to the cloud, and from there it is disseminated in various formats to various stakeholders. Again, who are the stakeholders? The veterinarian, the farmer himself, the paravet. There are a lot of other people to whom you send the right information. You cannot send them information saying somatic cell count has increased. The message has to be understandable by that person, right? I mean, it's like fever onset possible, or sell this cow, this is not a profitable cow, or whatever, suddenly there is 3-liter drop, or milk was not cool today. So it has to be in your face kind of analytics that has to be sent to the farmers. So that is handled by the herd management system. Right, and also for collection centers, as I said, once we started building this technology, we realized similar technology can be deployed at collection centers, right? You have these collection centers of hats and various other places. The same remote monitoring can be put there. Same kind of, no, if not same, there are different kind of problems. The collection center secretary who is there, for saving a little bit of money, he might not chill the milk till 4 degrees. Okay, 4 degrees is the most optimal temperature at which you can store milk. Okay, below 4 there are some bacteria that start developing faster, and above 4 there are some bacteria that start developing faster. He has to chill till 4 degrees within 1 or 2 hours of collecting the milk. There are 2 milk collection happens, one in the morning and one in the evening. But to save on diesel cost, he might chill only till 8 degrees and keep it. In the night when the grid power comes, which is cheaper, he will chill till 0 and keep it, so that in the morning when he mixes, it comes to average to 4 degrees. So there are a lot of these things that are done, which drop the quality of the milk. There is theft that happens, right? If there is 3,000 liters of milk there, somebody slowly removes 20 liters of milk and sells locally, nobody comes to know. There are a lot of these issues at the collection centers. So the similar technology has been extended for the collection centers, and analyze the data and give it to the dairy route managers, quality folks, etc., to manage their routes and milk collection better. Yes, so you can yes, so you can measure fat, you can measure SNF. SNF is solid non-fats in the milk. So basically these are the 2 things that are there in the milk. Rest everything is water. You can measure fat and SNF, and rest is water. There are sense. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But dairies are also intelligent, right? They pay based on that fat and SNF content. If you just add water, the fat and SNF goes down, and the rate chart is not linear. Okay, as the fat and SNF goes down, rate chart falls really fast. So nobody adds water like that. Okay, the dairies are more intelligent and they have kept the rating accordingly. But on the other hand, it penalizes the farmer, because if the fat and SNF is not very high, he will not get the top rate. Really, fat and SNF is not the measurement. Only in India, fat and SNF is taken as the measurement. Everywhere else, somatic cell count, colony forming unit of milk, of bacteria in the milk, and various other factors are considered, not fat and SNF. In India, fat and SNF is taken mainly because of the water adding problem. Anyway, I mean, there are sensors, and we can measure, and we can give the data back to the dairies. So how the analytics is given, how the volume has changed, See, it was 0 in the evening when milk was added, it went up. It is like that till the morning. Then morning pouring happens, it goes up. Tanker comes and picks it up, it again comes back to 0. How the temperature has varied, various alerts in terms of SMSs, Android apps, dashboards for different people. Each bulk milk cooler is a heavy investment item. One bulk milk cooler can cost anywhere between 3 lakhs to 15 lakh rupees. Right, it has to be monitored properly, whether it is being used properly. It's designed to chill till 4 degrees. If somebody uses it to chill till 0 degrees or even below, the compressor will go bad. How do you monitor that? And how do you give the report to that person? And how does the purchasing manager make a right decision in terms of purchasing the BMC? There are imported ones, there are locally made ones. Imported ones will say ours is better, so give me 50% more. But with this data, he can say, look, I mean, you're claiming it to be faster, but it's only 5% faster. Here is the data, right? I mean, till now there's no real data. Maybe only once when he buys, he can make some tests. But in the field on an ongoing basis, how is it performing? There's no data. Once you have the data, in many ways they can make a better decision. So now, I mean, so far I've been talking about what we have been doing. Okay, the aim of the talk was not that. The aim of the talk was to tell you what more is there that you could try out, or what anybody else can try out. I just had to set some context. Sorry for taking so long to set the context. Basically, when I said Internet of Things or M2M, this is one of the definitions. This is from Cisco. Okay, Cisco says Internet of Everything means people, processes, data, and things. All of them together, is Internet of Everything or Internet of Things. This is from McKinsey. So tracking behavior. There are different things. So how do you put Internet of Things to work? They have two classifications. One is information and analysis. How do you track the behavior of certain things? Okay, monitoring the behavior of persons, things, or data through space and time. Enhance situational awareness. For example, sniper detection using the direction of sound and so on and so forth. Sensor driven decision analytics, then process optimization, optimized resource consumption, complex autonomous systems. So these are the top 6 things they believe can be taken advantage of from Internet of Things or machine to machine communication. So whenever I attend any seminars on M2M or IoT, all this is fine. Then they start talking about what are the applications, right? These are the types of applications they start talking about. Okay, connecting smart grid. Okay, basically at a house, how do you charge there are meters, electrical meters that are smart, that keep telling the information of how how much the household is consuming at what time. Based on time you charge them, rather than at the end of the month how many units you have consumed. At peak time you charge differently, at non-peak time you charge them differently. You make more awareness. If there is a power gone, make the electrical company immediately aware. Okay, inform the customer and so on. This is one use case that is typically put in place. Okay, and car is a programmable thing. How do I make the car more smarter? So on and so forth. And some other segments, people usually talk about process manufacturing, transport logistics, discrete manufacturing, utilities, government, healthcare, retail. So these are the segments people generally talk about when they say Internet of Things or M2M and so on and so forth. I just saw this email last week. Okay, somebody IEEE Computer Society Madras chapter. It was sent. So they are calling for a training on Friday, 21st November, somewhere in Taramani. And look at this. I mean, they are saying international. Besides connecting billions of computers, mobile devices, and people, it is now poised to connect various things such as cars, sensors, controllers, TVs, machineries, electrical appliances, so on and so forth. So they are saying they can connect all that and make life better. What I am trying to say is, all that is fine. I mean, there are huge amount of other things that you can improve upon, right? So don't just focus on TVs and mobiles and things. There are a lot more things that you can improve upon by applying the right technology. right? There are a lot of verticals. We are addressing dairy, and that too one small part of dairy, and that itself is a huge potential. As I was talking about how much milk is being produced in India, how much is the market and so on. There is fisheries, there is food processing, there is water supply and irrigation, there is horticulture, agriculture, goat farming, power grids, fleet optimization, large equipment tracking, poultry, contract farming, greenhouses. The market is huge. In each one of them there are pain points that can be addressed in various ways. M2M can be one of the tools to address those pain points. Okay, I will talk a little bit about some of the areas which I am familiar with. Okay, fisheries. Let's take example of prawns. Okay, prawns are very costly, right? If you go to the restaurants, that will be the costliest item usually. They are grown in small ponds, right? So a half-acre pond or even smaller pond, lot of prawn is grown. It is grown for almost 6 months to 9 months. At the right time, it is harvested and it is sold. If the oxygen level in the water goes slightly below, all prawns will die within 2 hours, right? All, about one half an acre plots prawns price is about 40 lakh rupees. Okay, and in 2 hours the 40 lakh is gone. Okay, so if you observe the right parameter, oxygen level in that, various mineral content or something like that, and various other things. I am not an expert in that area. Okay, I'm just giving you the. If you observe the right information using the right sensor and send the information and warn the person in at the right time, there's a huge market in fisheries and prawns. Food processing. Okay, I mean. Once the once the agriculture one farmer produces the food from the farm gate till it reaches your shops, not even your plate. Okay, let's say tomatoes, it is grown in one farm. The day it comes to Reliance Fresh or something like that, 40% is the on an average wastage that happens. 40% is gone in all over India. That is the typical number. Imagine, I mean, how much is 40%? How can you reduce it? There are cold chains. There are cold chain infrastructure is being talked about. There are theft, there is wastage, lot of things that happen. Water supply and irrigation. I mean, water is the one of the resources that is running out on a daily basis, and it is not being charged. Right, that's the most underpriced resource after oxygen, probably. Right. I mean, its usage is not monitored. It's used as it is required, more than what is required. So there's a lot of things that can be done on this part. Horticulture, right? I mean, you might have heard about this pomegranate, right? I mean, that's a big business. 1 acre of pomegranate can generate, I don't know how many lakhs, but one small, if it is not looked after properly, the whole crop is gone, and it's a big loss. Contract farming. Have you guys heard about contract farming? Has anybody heard about contract farming? Yes. So contract farming is where you tell a farmer, you have 1 acre of plot or 10 acre of plot. I will give you the seeds. I will give you everything. You just grow it and give it back to me. I will market it. I will give you this much money. Right, people do contract farming for watermelons. They do for a lot of things, vermilion, lot of things. Contract farming is being done. Now, in contract farming, let's say I am the person who is telling the farmer do the contract farming. He says everything is okay, and one day he says suddenly everything died, or somebody stole it, or though this time crops didn't come properly. I don't know why. Maybe the seeds you gave is not proper, or so many things. How does this person come to know that all the protocols are properly followed, all the things are right, done properly or not? Okay, big potential there. Poultry, goat farming. How much is goat milk being sold at? Any guesses? 200 rupees per liter. Right? That's the rate at which goat milk gets sold commercially. Power grids, not just smart. I'm not talking about urban applications or like better electric, this one. But how can you make the power grids more efficient? Somewhere in the grid, some connector is gone. How do I know which connector? Rather than lineman going and checking every point, how can I improve it? There's a lot of theft that happens on the oil tankers. I can talk. There's huge potential out there where you can apply technology. Okay, greenhouses. Have you heard about greenhouses? right? So greenhouses is where you grow exotic vegetables or flowers and various other things which don't usually grow in that climate, but you create a particular climate, you control the various parameters like humidity, temperature, and so on and so forth, and grow flowers and exotic vegetables and sell it to the market at a premium price. There are lots of greenhouses all over India. And the thing is, all those parameters that I mentioned, right, the humidity, the temperature level, various other aspects, pests, has to be properly monitored, and depending on that you close the shade, slightly make it more humid, would start the drip, stop the drip, you have to do various things. So all that is labor dependent at the moment. So if I am running a greenhouse somewhere, I'm completely dependent on the labor and various other things. I won't even come to know how things are really happening, or if they are under control. So there is a lot of potential in reducing labor and increasing the reliability of the business in greenhouses. Okay, large equipment tracking, cranes, for example, right, or JCBs. You heard of JCBs? Yeah. So JCB is given on a rent, right? Cranes are given on a rent. Somebody buys this one and gives on a daily basis for rent. There's a limit. You are only supposed to put 25 tons on it or something like that. What if you put 26 tons? Will you come to know as a owner? No, it's not very easy. But if the equipment breaks, you have lakhs of rupees as your repair costs and stuff like that. So can you put a small sensor there which can sense if it is above load and send an SMS? Do you think it's possible? So will the customer be willing to pay 1,000 rupees per day for that? I think so. I mean, if I'm risking 1 lakh rupee for repair costs, I think he'll be willing to pay, right? How many JCBs are there in India? I don't know, lots, right? So there are so business opportunities are huge. We need to understand the pain points to be addressed. What is it that in each area, the pain points of the customer, and try to apply the right technology in there, right? I mean, in agriculture, horticulture, greenhouses, basically reduction in dependency on labor. You don't have to depend on the labor. Labor is the most difficult thing to get, right? You can get engineers, you can get doctors and all that, but laborers is very difficult to get. Optimal resource utilization. Water is a resource for you, diesel is a resource, various other things. Everything is a resource. How do you use the resource optimally? Okay, can I turn on the drip irrigation only when the humidity of that soil goes down below a certain set limit. Okay, the humidity required for rice is different, for wheat it is different, for ragi it's different, for some other flower it's different. Can I put a sensor and continuously monitor the humidity, and when humidity goes below a certain level at a certain region, turn on the drip for that region? That should be possible, right? There's no reason why it should not be possible. Just an example I am taking. Okay, take the informed decisions and assisted decision at the right time, right? There's a lot of information available. Let's say some small thing goes wrong, flowers are not coming properly. Is it that in India we are not able to do the analytics? It is possible. I mean, there are agricultural universities, there are big NGOs who have the right amount of expertise. It's just that expertise never reaches the farmer's place in some village out there, right? So can we take the right decision based on the information that is available, and get this information to the farmer level, or the paravet or veterinarian or whoever is in charge there. Increase the yield, of course. Find the right market. Many times you might have heard, right? I mean, farmers dump tomatoes on the road because there is no price, or right? It's just, is it that there is no market? I think there is market. It's just that they are not getting connected, right? So how do they find the right market? Reduce the exploitation by the middlemen. Not all middlemen are bad, but some do exploit. How do you minimize that exploitation? Dependence on the power grid, right? I mean, this is one of the biggest problem every enterprise in the country faces. Power supply is not reliable. Everybody has to invest on DGs and have a backup power supply. Imagine every company in India has to invest 2 to 5 lakh rupees on a DG. Imagine how many rupees is being spent Anyway, you cannot. I'm not saying we could avoid it, but can we reduce the grid dependency on the power grid by using the right technology, whether it is solar, whether it is wind, or whether it is biogas, depending on what business they are doing. Look at it closely and see if you can generate your own power. Easier financing and insurance. I mean, I talked about dairy. At least you can get insurance if you struggle, but agriculture insurance, there is no concept at all in India, right? Can I go to insurance company and say, I put one plot of paddy, please insure this for this many rupees? Will they agree? They will just laugh on my face. Why is it? I mean, why is it possible in Western countries? It's because they are not able to get the right information from me. Right? It's not that they don't want to do it is a business for them also. It's just that they don't have the right information. Can we enable this? So all these pain points are there, which can be addressed by technology, right? In food processing, right? As I mentioned, from the farm gate to the shop, there is 40% wastage. Wastage, which means it may get spoiled because it is not carried at the right temperature. There are cold chains, right? The cold chain essentially means you know, end to end there is infrastructure which keeps that produce at a right temperature. Okay, but the truck driver who is driving may just switch off that AC and not AC, that the cooling device, and he may drive on the highway because he wants to consume less diesel. As he nears the destination point, he again turns it on and he goes. So when he goes, the produce at right temperature, but on the way highway 90% of the time it was at room temperature, so it is almost spoiled, right? But the owner never comes to know. Why is it? I mean, can you put a small sensor and continuously send the data? It's, you know, people will be ready to pay a small amount for that. Theft and pilferage, milk and various other places, this happens throughout the chain. This happens. Tampering. Okay, so these are, and then reduce the Opex. There is a lot of operation, you know, operational expenses. Can we reduce that Opex in the food processing and enhance the quality? Right, for a better quality, people are willing to pay more. Right, the same tomato in Namdharis or, you know, some organic shop or, you know, whatever shop costs double than what it costs in another shop. Why is it? It's basically quality. People are willing to pay for quality. So can you enhance quality by adding technology? Goats, poultry and fisheries, right? I mean, better health management of those animals, better breeding so that you have better yielding animals, reduce the feed and fodder cost, increase the yield and reduce. These are almost similar to what I talked about in dairy, what we are trying to do, right? In dairy itself, you know, it's a huge market. So for these, if you try to do this, you know, there's a lot of, especially this one, right? Enhance quality and command price. If you're able to say that my milk or whatever the product is of better quality because of these reasons, it's untouched by human hand, it is guaranteed to be stored at this temperature, there is no hormones, there is no you know, antibiotic that is creeping into it, various other things, and give the information to the customer that he can check. So he will be willing to pay more. So I talked about, you know, what are the pain points, what to address. Now a little bit about how we can address these things, right? I use the right technologies. M2M already talked about, wireless, cloud, data analytics. These are at your fingertips to use nowadays, right? Everybody wants to sell you M2M gateway, that, this and all that. Use the right mechanization, right? Reduce the labor. Use a milking system or use some kind of automation you know, that you can apply to reduce the labor, to increase the, you know, processing time and so on and so forth. Automation. Localize the technology, say, okay. Many of these technologies might already be available. It might be available in Western countries, it might be available in some other country, but how do you ensure that that technology works in India? That technology is affordable for Indian farmers who has some 5 acres of land or only 10 cows and so on and so forth, or only, I don't know, I mean, make that technology, don't worry about, you know, looking at somebody else's technology and copying it. It's not that the technology does not exist. Indigenize it, downsize it, use it at the right, you know, make it fit the current market. Okay, add local language, culture. Okay, many of our customers might not even be literate. I mean, can you use outbound IVR call for, you know, giving the information to them? RTBA has already entrepreneurs who are doing that, right? So use the right technology to get to the customer, and they will pay for it. Power, you know, solar, biogas. I think IIT Madras is doing a lot of research on solar and various other power sources. I think we should use that. And finally, it's not just about technology. Understand different Opex models, okay, understand the market and consumer and customer, right? I mean, you can, as I said, we cannot just go and sell technology to the farmer. I have to talk the farmer's language. I should be able to tell this cow is better than that, or this fodder banana can be stored only at 15 degrees, not at 4 degrees, whereas milk is at okay 4 degrees. You need to spend some time understanding the market, go to the go spend time with the farmer, go spend 6 months with them, understand the chain end to end. It's not rocket science. I mean, it's pick it up, spend time on it and pick it up. And then understand and utilize the ecosystem. There's a lot of ecosystem support. We are not alone there as an entrepreneur, right? Governments, there is the DST fund, there is that fund, there is this fund available as a lot of grants to do the research. There are universities which give support, including IIT Madras, CFI, which I saw, and various other things. There are domain experts who will be willing to help you. There are big NGOs. For example, in dairy there is an NGO called BIF, Bharat Agro Industries Foundation, which is the biggest NGO in the country. They are very happy to support us. If we say I'm willing to come in and do a technology intervention in this particular domain, they said great. I mean, please come and help us. We'll give you all the support you need. So go talk to the domain experts, NGOs, corporates. Which are willing to help, impact investors. I mean, there's a completely new kind of investors out there, right? Have you heard about impact investors? No. So investors, you are aware, right? Series A investors, venture capitalists, seed funds, and so on and so forth. Impact investors are those who have a mandate to invest in an area where they can do an impact for a one section of society. Of course, they want profits, don't get me wrong on that, but they are mandated to invest only in this. They won't invest in e-commerce, they won't invest in ticket booking online or whatever, or purchasing whatever they want to invest. They are mandated to invest only on areas which make an impact to the society. So they are willing to invest for longer term. They are willing to wait for a longer term, and they are willing to give you more support, and they are willing to invest in smaller quantities also. I mean, a company which is focusing on, let's say, goat milking might not need 10 million investment. They might need only 500K investment, right? No investor will spend time on 500K because his time itself will be more worth than doing due diligence and various other things will not be worth it. So, impact investors are out there. Impact investors, meet people. There is a Sankalp event. I think in IIT Madras there is Will Grow. Okay, if you have not heard about it, they support. So approach the right investors, and there is a lot of money to help you as well. Now, apart from these other things, right? And there are incubators and consumers. Consumers are willing to help. If I go and talk to somebody and say I'll get you clean milk, they'll be very happy to help me. I mean, to do my research or set up a small testing farm or whatever, right? So understand your consumers also. So leverage the entire set of support system out there in order to reach out the right market. Finally, all the financing models I talked about, keep low capex and various other aspects. So what are the challenges if I look at it, this sort of technology, right? Customers, they may not very easily believe you. They may think you're trying to cheat them, or you don't understand. Oh, how many cows have you kept, or have you ever tried farming? How much? They may ask all these skeptical questions. Possible, right? They may be right also. So we just have to overcome that challenge. Experts may have some reluctance. All this won't work in India. That and all won't happen. This and all like this only. Something and all they will say. So don't get don't get down. Pursue, and I think there is a good market out there. Ecosystem interaction can be more professional. I mean, when you're working with in IT industry, or when you're working with in academia, or when you're working with a Western customer, the amount of professionalism you can get, the commitment and all those things is much different when you deal with the Indian customer or Indian ecosystem. When they say I'll do it tomorrow, that means probably I will try it next week, something like that. So it is never very easy to assess those things. You need to know how to work in India and Indian markets in order to deliver. time to success, it may take some time for you to succeed. It might be medium to long term. It might not be immediate short term success, but definitely possible. Right? I mean, just to give an example, this was me with my team in Wipro, right? And these are my customers. Now this is my team. These are my customers, right? But what I mean by professionalism, various other aspects. This is what it is. But you're doing something that can really make a change, and there's a big opportunity out there. What are the opportunities, right? Market says it's huge. I cannot put some numbers. I mean, there are lots of zeros, and, lots of so on. Every area that I mentioned, big opportunities. They are not like for some small niche markets. Okay. Technology, almost all the technology is available. You just need to adapt it. Support structures are already there. You just need to go look for it and get it. Competition very less. Tell me which company is doing dairy technology intervention or technology intervention for agriculture, or almost very less, right? Maybe there are Western companies or Israeli companies, but their technology is not suitable here and not affordable here also. And they only have sales organizations here, and their sales guys, they know only to sell that particular pipe or whatever it is. That's all, right? So competition is also very, very less. Investment needed is small to medium. You don't need huge investments to start with, right? Barrier to entry is slightly high, because as an engineer, understanding these is not a very easy thing. I mean, technology is easy, but you need to understand the customer. So this part we need to overcome. But other than that, I think opportunity is really big, right? So if you analyze this like any other business, I think this is a very good business case for any entrepreneur with a technology background to pursue. That's it.
Good evening, sir. Like there are some small scale farmers, like having some 2 cows, 3 cows kind of people. So how you are integrating them for this business? Do you ever approach for them, or whether they are ready to get into this approach, or they are reluctant, like they will be doing it individually? Like
2 cows, 3 cows are the most difficult farmers to reach out to and sell technology and bring them up. So one approach is the community milking model that I talked about, where they don't have to invest much. You get them to get the cows to the center and get the milking, but that may help them very, very minimally. But other than that, there are governments which are willing to help. Every government gives subsidy on buying cows, for especially NABARD, for example, right, gives up to 10 cows. There is a huge amount of subsidy. You get the 11th cow, all the subsidy goes away. That's a different thing. But up to 10 cows, there is a huge amount of subsidy available. There is subsidy on biogas. Everybody wants to, governments want to help them. Every government official we meet, even animal husbandry ministers, we have met several times. They are very, very interested in integrating technology with the cooperative model. And use the cooperative model to reach out to these 2-3 cows customers. So it is possible, but it is going to be more difficult than addressing the bigger 10, 25 and 100 cow customers.
Say if we have like some 10-15 people having this kind of same thing in a small village kind of thing, are they coming together to do this thing?
Yes, the only thing they want to see that model working somewhere. Farmers want to see it with their eyes, not videos, not websites, not photos. They want to see it happening somewhere. So if in a certain center, if you show them that there is a working model, they will be very willing to come together and do it. We have seen that example.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for that wonderful talk.
Thank you.
May I now request Suresh sir to present Mr. Shiroor with a memento. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you all for coming. Have a great evening.